guys, a very good morning. It's good to see you right here on Your World. My name is Winnie Lubembe, and we really must apologize for starting late, but here we are. And today on the show, we'll be focusing on health and fitness, yes, but on something that most of us don't really think about, all right? And this is as far as body composition, okay? So we'll be looking at nutrition and body composition checklist, and why these two are very, very important as far as our fitness goal is concerned, but also generally our health, all right? Because while many people are very conscious about their health and fitness, sometimes stepping onto the scale can be quite scary, and it can be very frustrating to exercise and eat a healthy diet only to see the number on the scale stay the same. However, just because the body weight is not changing, it does not mean that your hard work is not paying off, because of your body composition could be improving. So the big question is, what exactly is body composition, and how does nutrition impact the same? That is the subject of our conversation this morning. So if you are on your fitness journey, or as far as your health is concerned, you're trying to make changes here and there, you really need to stick around until the end of the show to understand what it's all about. And to help us with that conversation, I am joined by, from my immediate left, Kevin Mwangi Njuguna, who's a fitness consultant from Rolling Total Fitness. Good to have you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for making the time. And we also have Dr. Daniel Katambo, who is the founder and CEO of Afya Code Limited. Good to have you, Dr. again. The last time you were here was what, last year? Or is it early this year? Early this year. Hey, long time ago, but good to have you as well this morning. And I'm just going to start with you. Before we talk about body composition and all those things, the big question that a lot of people struggle with is, what exactly does it mean to be healthy? And we're talking about fitness and all those things concerned. What exactly does that mean when someone says they are healthy?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question. And as much as we want to generalize what being healthy is, we cannot define health without looking at an individual.
Okay.
Because it takes more than what people think to be healthy.
Okay.
It doesn't just compose of your physical health.
Okay.
It is a lot more. In top of physical health, mental health, even financial health, the environmental health. So this is a personalized definition.
All right.
For example, what is it that is healthy to me as Dr. Daniel Katambo? So that is what you will define as healthy to you, because that might not fit Winnie, and that might not fit any other definition for somebody.
Okay.
And I could be looking very healthy outside, like physical health, but my mental health is really not okay.
Yeah.
So the definition of being healthy really depends on an individual. It's really personalized.
Okay.
Yes.
But isn't there like a basic, okay, I know all these other aspects need to come in place for us to say, you know what, I am healthy, but there's a baseline. No. I'm just trying to think, like, there is a baseline.
Yes.
Because it's true, this is life, and we cannot be 100% okay in all the facets of life, but there, I mean, a certain threshold.
Definitely.
You know? Yeah.
Now, when you pick those factors, like if you're looking at physical health, there are many other factors. Now, if you focus on physical health, what do you want to define as physical?
Okay.
Are you looking at not just the waist circumference? Are you looking at your BMI? Are you looking at your height? I mean, your body composition, as we will be talking today. When it comes to mental health, of course, how are you managing your stress level, your anxiety? Are you depressed? You understand? And all these things, we have to put them at a basic level, because we can't exist without, we say, quote unquote, some stress.
That's true.
So, but how do you manage that? Because if it goes some way overboard and you're not able to sleep, then that's another.
It also affects
your health, and that can be very impactful. Okay. So yes, there are some basic guidelines, but again, as I say, they have to be tailored towards an individual. Your job, my job, the way I do it, I could be working at night and just getting sleep during the day, and I'm getting 8 hours, 7 hours, but we're still healthy because our BMI probably is the same or it's not the same, but I am stressed because I'm depressed.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
No, I do completely, and I'm pretty sure Kevin will agree, because you talk to so many nutritionists, talk to, again, fitness coaches, they will tell you, all these programs are individualized because there's no, one shoe fits all. Okay. And one of the things that a lot of people that I have seen now is people are very conscious about their health and in terms of also their fitness, what they eat, but their fitness levels as well. So Kevin, I'm curious to hear from you. I know that Terry mentioned BMI. I'm really curious to see what you have to say as far as BMI and body composition and all those things. But what is it that you see, people do as far as their fitness is concerned and their health that is completely wrong? And then we'll talk about body composition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So first I'll introduce myself. My name is Kevin. I'm a fitness consultant, just like you said. So what I do is kind of unique.
Okay.
Most people will just focus on your weight, just like you said, and it can be very traumatizing. So for that reason, I chose to take this path of doing body composition and specializing also in fitness consultation.
Okay.
So just like Doc said, when it comes to now fitness or rather health, it's something personal. So that's where now I have a sitting with somebody and I focus more on education. Because most people will invest their time, their resources, their emotions in this space that we call fitness. Paying a trainer, paying for supplements, trying to eat clean. But at the end of the day, you need to get value.
Okay.
So most people will end up going to the gym and coping. And when you're copying what other people are doing, you probably might be lucky and get results, or you might copy and get frustrated because you're not seeing anything change. So that's why I focus on educating people so that we're able to connect the sciences behind nutrition and the sciences behind exercising so that they're able to embrace this fitness.
So you're here today. So educate us as far as the connection between nutrition and then, like you said, body composition as well.
I'll now focus on why I'm here, which is the body composition. So I usually like when people see through their weights. It's not just looking at the numbers, but you need to know your composition. And just like you've highlighted BMI, it's a controversial topic, especially between me and the guys who are doing medicine. So BMI generalizes, your weight, and it factors, it calculates your weight against your height, which it has its strengths, but also it has weaknesses, especially if you're looking at people who are active or people who are athletes. Because when you do a lot of strength training, then people are subject to put on a lot of muscle, gain some muscle. And you can imagine somebody is short, they weigh 100 kilos. Chances are they could be having a lot of muscle. Maybe they're playing rugby, maybe they are bodybuilders. But BMI, when you use that lens, it will say that they're obese or overweight. So now the tool that I use for doing the assessment, it usually measures your composition and it will base your fat based on your age and gender. So what you have as excess fat is what is deducted from your current weight.
So can you just first of all get to understand what body composition is all about? Because like I said, a lot of people, you'd find them at gyms or even jogging or walking and doing all these things just because they say you need to exercise, you need to watch your weight, you need to watch what you eat, but then we don't really sit and think what exactly is my body composition. So at the very basic level, Dr. do you want to take that? What exactly and then we'll come to you, Kevin, to understand. So then how does that happen?
What constitutes you as an individual? And there are three main factors. They can add maybe one more, but the main compositions of our body are the muscles, which can be divided into three: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and the cardiac muscle. Then you have the fat, which can be visceral inside or subcutaneous outside, and then the bone composition. Well, there are some composition machines that can take it further and give you several other indicators, like, the water composition, your hydration status, which is fine. But the three main ones that we look at are those ones. What is your skeletal muscle, especially skeletal muscle, the fat composition, and where that fat is, and then the
body water.
No, the water is
part of the
protein
of the hydration. I
mean the skeletal muscle, the visceral, and the bone.
And the bone.
And
okay.
The bone composition.
And why are these things very important for all of us to consider?
Well, yes. Now, this is where it's very important.
Okay.
I know he has talked about BMI. There's no controversy, actually. What you said is exactly what you are supposed to look at. And that's why we began by saying personalization. When you're now looking at an individual, I'm a medical doctor.
Okay.
A patient comes to me, or an individual comes to me, and then you look at them and they want to lose weight. So if they want to lose weight, definitely main focus in this one would be probably the fat composition.
Okay.
Now, when they go to him, probably they have already at some extent lost a little bit of some weight, and they now want to put on some skeletal mass or some, muscle gain.
Okay.
And that is where, in fact, the body composition really plays a bigger role.
Okay.
But when you look at just the simple measurements that we use, there are very, very basic things that you can use to check the body composition. And those are things like your waist circumference against your height.
Yeah.
That one is very simple. You can do it at home, and it can tell you a lot about your fat composition and where it is.
Okay. Interesting. Do you know there was a time, this whole BMI versus waist circumference and all those things. So I was told my BMI is okay, it's normal. But then when they did the waist circumference, I was told I was obese.
Exactly.
And I'm like, but where? But how? And all those things. So I totally understand. So then how does it work, Kevin? Because like you said, these are some of the tests that you have to do, when you're talking about consultation, so that then we put someone on a fitness or, a health journey, right? So how exactly does that work?
Just like he said, when he gets clients who want to lose weight, of course, he subjects them to lose fat weight.
Okay.
But most people will just be general on the numbers are high, I need to lose weight. Yeah. So you see, when your goal is to lose weight, you just generally just go to the gym, and the trainer, once you tell him I need to lose X amount of weight, their goal will be to make you active.
Okay.
So that you burn those calories, and then on your end you need to eat less so that you create the deficit. So generally what you'll be going through is weight loss. But when you're losing weight, you're losing everything. You're losing the water component, you're losing the muscle, plus the fat. But what you need to be losing is the fat weight. And that's where now the composition becomes critical, because if you're losing muscle, it also affects things like your metabolism. Whereby you'll find yourself, even when you're resting, there's the amount of energy that you're burning based on the muscle mass that you have.
Okay.
So if you lose some of that muscle mass as you're losing the weight, then it means you start burning less while you're resting. So what happens after that period that you've been losing all that weight, because you'll be burning less at rest, the weight comes back on, especially if you take a break.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. And then how does nutrition then factor in into the same? Because again, like you said, people are different in terms of what we do throughout the day. There's some people who are more active, there's some people who are a bit sedentary, and there's some people who are very sedentary, right? So then talking about an understanding of body composition, how then does nutrition fit into the same? Because they have to go hand in hand, no?
I mean, nutrition is everything. I'm sure he will tell you that and nutrition is about 80% of what we do. And being physically active is about 20%.
But most people, it's usually the opposite.
Sorry?
For most people, we spend a long time working out and then
change your lifestyle. They will go and buy shoes and hit the gym. And again, because of the lack of information and all these things we are talking about, even the body composition, the BMI, in as much as it's not that much used, it's something that we go by. Now, nutrition plays a very big role. And it tells you adjusting, and there's something called therapeutic nutrition or medical nutrition. And it plays a very big role because depending as an individual what you want to achieve, then we can give you therapy to achieve exactly what you want. For example, as I said, I'm a medical doctor. So I see patients who have diabetes, blood pressure, and probably overweight and obese. These people, even if I subjected them to body composition measurements with the various tools we have, they will definitely have more visceral fat and more subcutaneous fat, which is very important. And that is a simple measurement that we can do in the office and calculate it against your height, and we can tell whether you have insulin resistance. Now, I've mentioned insulin resistance, which is very key when you're looking at therapy on which one you are going to give an individual. Insulin resistance is something that is driven by sugar. So the more sugar you give yourself, the more the insulin, and now if you have excess, that's when you store it as fat, or in the visceral fat, and then if it's a lot, you store it as subcutaneous fat. Now, if, for example, you are aiming to lose the visceral fat or the fat component, then it is very paramount for you to look at the physiology of what led you there. And therefore, if you reduced your sugar intake, you will reduce your insulin intake, and therefore the visceral fat will come down. All right? Now, when you combine that with physical activity, whether it is at home, whether you're doing resistance training at home, or you're doing it at the gym, it is very powerful because it tends to improve muscle strength, tends to improve your insulin resistance, and therefore you lose weight properly. Remember what he has said is very important. You don't want to lose weight pathologically. In the wrong way, where you are losing both your muscle and you're also losing your fat. That can be a bit more of a compromise. So it is important for you to seek medical help and proper guidance before you can combine all this.
All right. And I'm happy that you mentioned that, because a lot of people, especially January, fitness goals, we do not consult, we do not do, if anything, if we're consulting our friends, and we don't get the correct information at the end of the day. So simply because they're hitting the gym, we're also hitting the gym. Whatever exercise they're doing, that is exactly what we do, and we end up getting different results, and people start to wonder, why is that the case? So we'll take a break right now, but then when we come back, we'd want to understand, so then when do we get to that level of understanding our body composition, and is it different between men and women? But something else that I was reading, and they said a certain amount of body fat is needed to ensure good health, and this is the essential fat. So how much is and what is considered excess, and how do we get rid of the same? And we'll also do a live body composition test. So all that is coming up after the break, so that we see what exactly we're talking about when we mention body composition, and why it is something that we really need to think about, even as we think about our health and our fitness goals as well. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the other side of the break, and we'll show you a live demonstration as far as body composition is concerned. Stay with us.
There's a lot going on at the moment in this house.
Their true identity is uncovered in the brand new unmissable Zari. Starts 23 October. Only on Maisha Magic Plus, channel 163 on DSTV Access, GoTV Plus, channel 3.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Now with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying, with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Step out in confidence with our most complete care from the world's #1 skincare brand.
Candace, what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see grandma, 42 jokes from daddy, 49 laughs from mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Exponential potential.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Fix. This is the show where we do ukarabati wa asubuhi. My name is Mariam Bashar.
And the most bankable host, Brian Aseli. Good morning, my neighbors!
Get up and get ready for the most electrifying morning show on your airwaves. Mariam and Aseli on the Morning Fix every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m.
I think Uganda is the only country that they can actually do a musical. All of them. Because they speak funny.
No.
They speak funny.
Only on
96.3 Nation FM.
All that talk about the best.
Non-Nation. All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2023. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started.
All right, welcome back. And just in case you're tuning in right now, the show is Your World. And today it's all about health and fitness, okay? But we're taking a very special focus, and this is as far as nutrition and body composition is concerned, and why it's very important for us to really think about, those two aspects. And this is especially as far as body composition is concerned. And Kevin was taking our model's measurements. And that is, he talked about height, which is important. Age as well. Is age important?
Age and gender.
Oh, and gender.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because like you said, there's a difference between male and female in the body composition.
Men have testosterone as the dominant hormone, which makes us yield muscle more.
Okay.
That's why men are supposed to be masculine.
Okay.
And then for women, it's estrogen,
okay,
which makes women yield fat, and that's what supports fertility.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, like we said, we'll show a live demonstration of what exactly happens. Okay. We have a very beautiful model over there. Yes. And for this to happen, you said you need her to lie down.
To lie down,
okay.
to make sure
all right.
the
So as we
settle.
do that, as you get settled, Dr. Do you want to very quickly take us through, like we said, a certain amount of fat is good, okay, but excess. So what is considered okay and normal, and what is considered excess?
Well, yeah, so it's very important for you, again, it goes to the definition. Maybe for me to get into that, I would define, because you mentioned about essential fat and the rest.
Yeah.
Actually, the word essential comes from the three macronutrients.
Okay.
That's the fat, the protein, and the carbohydrates. Now, when you talk about essential, it means that the body, you need to provide that macronutrients for you to exist.
Yeah.
You need to eat it. You need to provide it externally.
Okay.
Non-essential means that you do not need it to exist. I mean, to survive, if I want to use a word.
All right.
So when you use essential for the three, you only need proteins and the fats.
Okay.
All right. The one thing that is non-essential, or we need zero of it, is actually carbohydrates, which are the sugar things, the things people call starch.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into the
I know it's very, because I'm like, wait, what? We don't. We don't completely
most of
need
them,
it? Okay.
you might not need a lot of them.
Okay.
Now, when you now look at the essential things that you need, the question is how much protein do you need per day?
Okay.
And how much fat do you need per day?
But again, how many times do we even measure those things and get to consider? Anyway, Kevin, so what exactly is happening? What are you doing? So you took the height, age, and all those things,
in
and
our
weight.
office, we'll take general measurements of the body, but at this point, because of time, you're just taking the critical measurements, which is the height,
the
weight,
okay,
and then the waist circumference from the belly button, not from the one that you're used to, and then the hip circumference.
Okay,
yes.
all right, all that is done. Okay.
Yes, we're just finalizing on the hip.
On the hip circumference, okay. And one might ask, so then why are these very essential? Are you able to multitask? Tell us why it's important to take all these tests, but also, during the consultation.
Of course, the age and gender is also critical.
Yeah.
So that it's able to peg or give you the categories, especially for the fat. As you age, it's okay to have slightly more fat.
Okay.
So the percentage range will keep rising if you're older. So that's why you'll take the age. And then the gender, just like I said. So it can be able to give you the range, whether if you're a man, it will be lower. When you're a lady, for the fat levels, it's okay to be higher.
To be higher.
Yes.
Okay.
And then something like the waist to hip ratio.
Yeah.
So now based on accumulation of visceral fat, because it's the fats are surrounding your organs, or rather it's inside your abdominal cavity, it tends to push your belly outside. So for the men, because our hips don't bulge, like you know, you were told when you're in teenagehood, shoulders
your
broaden.
shoulders, yes.
For the ladies, it's the hips. So we don't have the same ratio. So for men, it's 1, meaning it's okay if the waist and hip circumference, you know, match in case visceral fat is high. But once it's above 1, it's excessive. But for the ladies, it's 0.8.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So now you're taking the hip. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So as he does that, so like you said, it's different for different people. Totally individualized, but again, it's something that we really need to be cautious about, because majority of the people, when you're talking about like fitness, we just want to shed off, people say, excess weight. Right? And then that's it. We don't think about anything else, and then we focus on, what you eat, do more protein, you know, and all those things. But someone might ask, but is it different then for different people, understanding our different bodies, first of all, what we do, and you know, what then we require for us to sort of like thrive and be healthy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, Winnie. That's exactly what we talked about when it comes to individualization. As an individual, who are you?
Yeah.
Do you drive to work? Do you just park in down basement, use elevator, go to your work, eat breakfast at home, eat at 10, eat at lunchtime, and at in the evening at 4, and then you live there. Then you move from there. You move from there, you get into the elevator again, down, and then after that you again, you know, that is your lifestyle. But there is somebody else who woke up and trekked all the way to industrial area and lifted all those gunias and did something. So these are two very different people. And therefore,
and their body composition is also
very different. You find this guy who walks and lifts has more muscle mass, I mean more skeletal muscle mass, as opposed to the fat content you get. And that's where, in fact, for that guy will benefit more with the body composition. But if you look at most of our lifestyles, 95% of our lifestyles
completely different. Okay, let's go to Kevin here, then I'll come back to you, Daktari. So you've put pressure
electrodes.
Yes.
It's called electrodes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And like you said, you need to put it on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. It's on her feet. I wish it was on the other side. So, but it's fine. Yeah, but it's fine. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So so show us what you can we see? Just lift the hand, kidogo, so that we can see over there, and then yes. Perfect. Okay. So that we show what exactly that happens. Okay.
Yes.
And then that is the. Do you want me to hold the machine at some point?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So the essence of her lying down flat.
Because we want to see,
So the essence of her lying down flat is to make sure her body fluids settle. Because you see, when you're standing, when you're making any movement, also your body fluids is shifting.
Okay.
So you need to make sure the body fluids settle.
Okay.
And then once they've settled, when we connect the electrodes, the machine will pass current through her body. It's painless. There's no pain. There's no electrocution.
Okay.
So what will happen? It's that you see bones, muscle, body water will have different levels of resistance.
Yeah.
So we'll put some of the measurements on the machine.
Okay.
So based on the level of resistance, it's able to approximate and give us now those
So
values.
you need to key in this details on the machine.
Yes.
Okay. But as you do that, I wonder if they can see, but you see what is on her feet. Should I?
No. Yes, you can touch.
But so you put on the, like you said, the pressure point. So here and here.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to lift your arm over here.
Yes.
See? So there's this and there's also this, right?
Yes.
So why? Why this specific point? I mean, can you put it over here?
No.
On the head?
So
because when you talk about like, I see that, a lot on the heads. And
so based on the manual, those are the points that are supposed to be put.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Sawa. So that is done.
Yes, that is done. So we'll proceed and put on some of the measurements that you've taken.
All right. So you need to key in all this.
Yes.
All this details.
Yes.
Okay.
So
all right.
Start
is there a way that you can stand so that we can see? Because we need to see.
Oh, what we're keying in.
Yes.
Okay. Then
do you need me to hold it for you?
Then it's okay.
Okay. All right. So
first I want to make sure the date and time is correct, so that in case she'll want to do a review, it will be able to project a good history. She'll be able to know the time and the date she did the assessment, because also the time of the day also matters. If you do your first assessment, let's say early in the morning, and then the next one probably do it in the evening, you might be frustrated. Why am I heavier? It's because you see in the evening, chances are you've had more meals.
Yeah.
And probably if you exercised or something happened.
Okay.
So that will alter also your body composition. That's why it's critical.
So we need to, I don't know if this is possible.
To see the details.
Oh yes, like that.
All right.
Okay.
So what we'll do.
Will you be able to?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll put in, it's a new test. So we'll start with her gender, which is female.
Okay.
Then at this point, I think we will expose her age. What's your age? 21. Sure, she's very young, eh?
Okay.
That's why she's our model. So height, so we took her height was 163.
Okay.
163. Her weight, which was 53.8.
Okay.
53.8. Then her waist, 73,073. Then her hip was 98. Yes, then levels of activity. How active are you? Because there is very low, there is low to medium, medium to high, very high. Do you exercise? The nature, you do, eh? The nature of your job is sedentary? Okay.
She does not.
Okay. So let's
just say like
let's just medium.
office.
Let's just put her on medium because she exercises.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then it will proceed. So we just need to make sure the electrodes are okay.
Ah. Okay. Oh yeah. Now I understand why you're saying she needs to. Okay. Because then you do not want to move.
Yes. That's why you see I've moved.
All right.
So then we'll start again. Let's start again.
Oh, you have to. Oh, because one actually moved.
Yeah, one moved.
Okay, so let's let you then key so that we do not interfere.
So so there's female. I think we already have the stats.
Ah, okay, perfect.
So now,
and then you say proceed.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's measuring.
Let's see. Are you anxious?
So basically.
Okay.
It's going to give us some highlights, but we usually now transfer this data to the laptop, where now the machine, we have a software on our laptop which will be able to generate a report.
Okay.
So the report will be more comprehensive, but this is just the highlights. So I can see that her cellular health is normal.
All right.
Cellular health will range from 800 to 870, and you can see it's 0.841, so that is normal.
All right.
Face angle, she's outstanding. It's very good.
Okay.
So those are the things that we also check, other than the body composition, the cellular health.
Okay.
And then we'll progress. Her body water is at 50.5%. Her dry lean is at 22.5%. I think I'll elaborate further.
Yes, yeah.
Her goal fat is 26% based on her age and gender. Okay. So her excess fat is 1%.
Okay.
And you can see she's small.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
So body fat is 27% for her. In kilos, it's 14.5. And according to her normal range, she needs 11 to 15. So she has half a kilo of excess fat, not much. 500 grams, that's the excess
You
fat.
know, it's very interesting because look at her. She's tiny.
There's a time I got a client who weighed 48 kilos, but was high in cholesterol. So that's why you see, it's not just about your weight, it's more about the composition. You can have the same weight and be hard and lean, like marathoners.
Yes.
And you can have the same weight, but your body is soft.
Yeah.
And you're weak.
Wow, okay.
So that's why it's important to know your body composition before you do any adjustments to your training routine or your diet.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So the rest is the lean, which is 73%, which is just 1% shy.
Okay.
And the lean, which is 39.3 kilos. So you see she has less muscle for her weight.
Weight,
which is, she has less muscle.
For her,
yes.
for her weight.
Yes. So chances if she's exercising, maybe she's doing cardio, she needs to do some strength training.
Okay, to build on the muscle.
To build on the muscle mass.
This is interesting. Okay.
Yes. Of course, that is very rare. It's very rare.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So those, amongst other things, it will also show the body water, which is 50.5%, which is okay. She's supposed to be between 50 and 60. For men, it's usually higher.
All right.
And then it will also show waist to hip ratio, which is 0.74. High risk is beyond 0.8, so she's okay.
She's okay, all right.
Yes, and then it'll also show extracellular water, the water that is outside the cells, intracellular water, the water that is inside the cells.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so is that okay or no? Which should be okay, which should be normal?
It has a range based on her weight. Okay. So you see, once we transfer this data on the computer, it's be able to see all those ranges and compare.
Okay. All right.
Because it's customized.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Any other thing that we need to?
Basically, her BMI, it's okay, it's perfect. She needs to be between 20 to 25, but it's 20.2. Okay. So you see she's on the lower side, but she's okay.
Yeah.
Body fat mass index, she's just above by 0.5.
Okay.
Free fat mass, she's less, which is her lean. It needs to be between 16 to 17. She's 14.8.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I really like this because, like we said, you look at her, she's very tiny, you would assume,
she's perfect.
You know, but then you're saying, so she's a little bit lower.
I think even the reason she has,
mass?
the reason why she has a high fat percentage, it's because she has less muscle for her weight.
Okay.
If she improves the lean, then the fat percentage will go down because you see her body is fat. You see the main composition is muscle, is lean and fat.
Okay.
So if you just lower the fat a little bit, then
and
without
then
even influencing the weight of the lean, just as
it
a percentage, the lean increases.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Doctor, do you want to help us?
He can relate.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I can relate.
Yes, and then to talk about more on nutrition, and how then that will play a role. Because yes, exercise and fitness, it's important, right? But then how does nutrition then play a role in her case?
No, it will definitely play a bigger role because now, as you can see from that body composition, she needs more foods with proteins.
Okay.
And she will be able to grow a skeletal muscle.
All right.
And especially so if she can just do a little bit of resistance training. And remember, resistance training doesn't have to be in the gym. It could be your body own resistant press-ups. You know, you could just do very simple, basic resistant training in the house. And our body mass, I mean fat mass was high by, was it 0.5?
Yes. It was a very little
very tiny.
Yeah.
So if she just does a little bit of training, she will lose that and then gain it as skeletal mass.
And I think this is very important for people really to see because a lot of the times we just look at someone and think, huyu ni mdogo, they should be very,
the gym.
They don't definitely need to go to the gym, right? Yes. But it's the opposite. So then it's important then for us to understand. So how often should one take this? Kevin, like how often should we take body composition tests even as you settle down?
Again, like the doctor said, it's individualized.
Okay.
Because people do things for different reasons.
Okay.
So some people will do it because they've been directed by a doctor, so those ones are prone to do it every month.
Okay.
There are people who will do it for competition, so they can even do it weekly because they keep adjusting their meals based on how their body composition is changing.
All right.
And then there are people who are just doing it for general health and wellness. So if you're doing it for that reason, then it depends on your fitness level.
Okay.
As a beginner, your body will change a lot within a month.
Okay.
So you can even do it monthly.
All right.
As an intermediate, not so much.
All
so you can do it after 3 months.
Okay.
At an advanced stage, you can do it after 6 months because your body is experiencing very little to no change because your body is operating at its peak. But you see, you can also be an advanced, but you're trying out a new program.
Yeah.
Maybe nutrition or a training program. So you want to see if you're breaking the plateau. So you see, you're subject to even shorten the period, maybe 2 weeks or a month.
Okay.
So it's personalized.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. And you were talking about earlier on why it's important for all of us then to eat based on what our body needs.
Yes.
And this is as far as understanding, first of all, our body type. Okay. So as a fitness consultant, do you want to just take us through this? Because if you ask the ladies, what's your body type, they'll tell you, oh, triangle, oh, right?
So the conversation you're having, you were saying people tend to generalize eating.
Yes.
But we need to eat according to our size first because we burn calories based on our size.
Okay.
That's why you see even when you go on a treadmill, if we walk same speed, same distance, if you have different weights, we'll not burn the same calories.
True.
As much as we're doing the same activity.
Yeah.
That's why on the treadmill, you have to key in your weight so that it calibrates how much calories you're burning. So if you're a bigger person, it means your body is working harder, so you're burning more calories.
All right.
And that's why you see even in sports, it's people, sports, people are categorized by weights.
Yeah.
Because if somebody is small, they're using less energy doing the same thing. So they have a slight advantage when it comes to endurance. And big people have an advantage of power.
Okay.
Because they've got more muscle mass.
Yeah.
So they have that advantage. So that's why people are categorized by weight. So the second thing also, the meals also should be based on your metabolic rate, because people burn calories differently, and it's based on your body composition, which is mainly how much muscle versus fat. The more, if you have high lean, less fat, then it means your body's metabolic rate is fast.
Okay.
Like you take the ectomorphs, the people who are skinny. I don't like using the word skinny, but let's say people who are very lean, like marathoners. Yeah. Those people would eat and eat, but you'll not see the weight. It's because the higher the percentage of the lean, it means whatever they eat, the body burns all of it.
All right.
But if somebody is storing more fat, then it slows down how much you're burning per kilo of your body weight, so your body tends to store.
Okay.
So as much as you could weigh more, then if your metabolic rate is slow, then it means also you need to configure your diet to that. And then also I usually tell people another thing, which is rare amongst nutritionists, timing. The time that you also eat these meals matter. It's not just a matter of balancing the calories, but also looking at the time. Okay. Are you feeling more at a part of the day when you're active, or are you feeling more at a part of the day when you're least active? Because people tend to fast during the day, so that they go back and eat at home and they eat heavy. And what happens at night? The brain shuts down the skeletal muscle. And when it shuts down the skeletal muscle, that's how you lose more of the water that's inside the muscle. And that's why when you wake up every morning, you'll go and pee. Okay. It's because at night your muscles are losing in size. And that's why you'll find yourself when you wake up, you stretch fast, then you go to the washroom. Okay. So that's to indicate that when you sleep, if you're eating heavy carbs, it's not going to load into the muscle. And if it doesn't load into the muscle, then it's going to be stored as fat. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Hey. So so timing is important. Timing is important. Understand. So a majority of the times, doctor, I usually tell people, most nutritionists will do that, and say do not eat beyond 8 p.m. Okay. And eat less carbs, more vitamins and proteins. No.
You see also when you're talking about the proteins, there's plant protein which still have carbs.
Okay.
So you also need to be specific with the nature of protein you need to target.
Okay, so then what do we do? So then what do we eat? And at what time?
You see, now that's the frustration, and that's why when you come for your consultation, it's more customized. You can't say that you're supposed to eat like this. Yeah. Because just like you said, there are people who do work in the evening, or maybe they do night shifts. Yeah. So you see, it means the plan is going to be rearranged. Yeah. As much as at home, food is being cooked as per how the hours are going, as much as your schedule is different, then you need to customize that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. But I'm pretty sure there's like basics in terms of, like we said, and we were taught this, make sure that you eat balanced diet, okay? And that's basic for everybody. It doesn't matter whether you are an athlete, whether you, like they say, unafanya kazi kwa mjengo, right? You're seated in your office. It really doesn't matter. Bottom line is, first of all, look at what you're eating, and like you said, the times that you're eating. So what is this basics, okay? Plant-based versus animal. Very quickly, Dr. So then what is that? What should that look like for everyone? It doesn't matter, whether you're on a fitness journey or not.
That has been, in fact, when I came here last time, I think, I can't remember her name. Yeah. We were talking about fruits and nutrition. Yes. And then I gave a little bit of a history of who came up with the idea of balanced diet. And the WHO plate of how it's supposed to be divided halfway, this way, carbs this way, and the pyramid, you remember? Yeah. There was a lot of literal research on nutrition that was done that time to signify what we needed to do. And therefore we gave some recommendations that now in the last 10 years we're thinking, maybe we
that
need
is
to
not working.
change.
Yeah.
Because we were told, eat low fat.
All right.
And many people and many foods have low fat, low fat, low fat. But right now we know, actually, as long as you're eating healthy fat, you need to increase the fat content of what you're taking,
so
as long as it's
healthy
healthy.
Fats, what do they look
yeah,
like?
Sorry?
Healthy fats.
Things like butter,
okay.
Kuku na ngozi yake, nyama na kale
but we're told that the
kake.
TMC kule kuku na ngozi yake, it's just...
Yeah, but we now know that that's actually protective.
Yes.
Yeah, and there are some now very good studies that are showing that saturated fat is actually good for your health. But what were we told when it came to that balanced diet?
Yeah.
We were told that it is not good. But what happens when you remove fat from food? Because it sets yak or something, what do you add? You add sugar. And addition of sugar promotes insulin, and that insulin promotes visceral fat.
Or you add salt.
Which is air, which now makes it worse.
Okay.
So that's why with the recent studies, things have really changed. And what is this balanced diet people are calling. Right, I can assure you in the next maybe 10, 15 years, you will see that balanced diet changing. Because we are realizing that low fat, low cholesterol thing that we were told to take has actually changed. Now we are advocating for high fat, as long as it's healthy, more proteins, more vegetables, and less sugar stuff.
But then how do I know that it's healthy?
You see, now there comes some things that are beyond us. For example, if we look at pork, how do I know that it's healthy?
Yeah.
This is where government bodies come in.
All right.
Like KEBS or whoever controls the meat that we eat. We need to know that it's healthy. Okay. Beyond how people rear the chicken, are they rearing them healthy-wise? We need to know that that was followed.
Yeah.
All we can say as somebody who has been in the field of nutrition now for a while, and also a medical doctor, is that I can recommend that healthy fats are good. But if I tell you take butter, how healthy it is, that I just can hope
that you take in healthy amount.
So what I can add on that point is that as much as food is food, and some people will say I'm eating home-cooked meals, so I know it's healthy. I also say there's eating for taste versus eating for function. So when people are focusing more on eating for taste, the foods tend to be over-processed. And while you're letting your food stay longer in your oven or in your jiko, you tend to deplete the nutritional value. So you might be eating food, but you're starving. In the sense that you're eating food that has very little nutritional value. So that equates it to junk.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
And then when you're eating for function, it means now the food is not heavily processed. And that's why you'll see athletes, their food looks bland. It looks like it's almost steamed, boiled, because you're trying to preserve nutritional, you're trying to make sure whatever you put in your mouth is as nutritious as it can get. Because that's the essence of eating.
That's true.
To nourish the body, not to entertain the taste buds.
The taste buds. But a lot of people will tell you that haina taste, and all those things.
But you see, the thing is, if you're in a cycle of eating food that tastes good, then your body is starving. It's not getting anything.
Because you're not getting any.
Then it means your body can easily go to starvation mode, which is a metabolic damage. So that means you could be eating because your body is not getting that energy. It prioritizes on storage. Because it needs to make sure it's securing energy for your vitals. And at some of the times when it's storing, the brain sacrifices the skeletal muscle so that it doesn't burn a lot. So that's why you'll find people shrinking around the arms and the legs, but increasing the belly. Yes.
Oh, that's true.
When you're eating for taste.
Okay. So Kenya Kawaida, right? Who's watching us this morning might not necessarily afford to go to the gym, right? Might not afford to come and do, all this tests to understand, cost of living, whatever we can get, that is what we eat. So then how do we make sure that in as much as, yes, we're trying to survive and just whatever is available, that is what we will eat, but also make sure that it does not end up harming our bodies, in the long run? What is it that you would,
So what I tell people, if you can't afford going to the gym, just make sure you're active. So when you're active, let's say if you're doing a sedentary job, you have to make sure you're not sitting long hours, so you can start monitoring your steps. At least nowadays we have smartwatches. stretch often, and make sure you distribute the steps throughout the day, because the moment you stay sedentary for a long time, the brain shuts down the muscle. And when it shuts down the muscle, you lose the water. So naturally, if your body has less body water, just like we are also checking on the body, the body assessment, which is something also I failed to mention. You know, actually you can be drinking a lot of water, but your body doesn't have water. There are clients who come to my office, they drink 5 liters of water per day, but when you do the test, it shows them they have no body water.
How is that then?
That will happen on scenarios that somebody is storing a lot of fat. Because the body water is the body fluids, and the body fluids is like your blood, it's mainly in your muscles. So if your body is storing a lot of fat, then it means, because the fluids are calculated against your height, your weight. So if you have a big frame, you need more fluids. If you have a small frame, you need less fluids.
Okay.
So if you have, regardless of the frame, if you have more fat taking up a higher percentage of your weight, then it means it's compromising your storage space. So even if you're trying to hydrate, there's no room to hold that water. So you'll just be taking it to the washroom.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is not good.
Yes.
Because then you're starving the cells.
Yes.
Okay.
So now that's why I advocate for steps, doing a lot of stretches. And then when it comes to diet, there's just this simple slogan: eat like a king, your breakfast, your lunch should be like a prince or queen, and then your dinner like a pauper or a slave. So that's why you try and avoid sugars and carbs, just focus more on the vegetables and lean protein.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Daktari, again, Mkenya wa kawaida, okay? Like we said, who's watching us this morning and thinking, okay, I want to be healthy, but at the same time, we can't, right? So priorities. What is it that we need to prioritize on now? Because like you said, not all of us really require carbohydrate, right? Okay, not completely off, but lesser as compared to other people. But what is it that we need to prioritize when we're thinking about our health, our body composition, and our fitness as well?
I think for me, the most important thing is, first of all, to understand yourself, and then seek help. We are not very good at seeking medical help. It is very important for an individual when they want to know, am I healthy? Because being healthy, you could be thinking about muscle, how you want to look fit and all this. And there's also another maybe hidden condition. So where I come from is that we need, first of all, at least once, walk into a healthcare center and do the basic tests.
All right.
After that, now ask yourself, what do I want to eat to attain what do I want to be? What do I want to do? You want body mass, your body mass index to be less? Do you want to increase your muscle? I've seen patients who come and tell me, I don't want to lose weight. And even if their body composition is fat content is high, I tell you, I don't want to lose weight. People will not think about me. I am of status. I cannot lose. What do I do? So it's very important for you to really understand an individual, the cultural beliefs, what they. So based on that, then as a doctor, you are able to tailor the outcome and then give them exactly what they want.
Okay.
So it is very hard to give a blanket statement. Nutrition, as you may know, is different.
It's different
culturally. When you go to Western, ni ugali. When you go to Coastal, it is rice. When you go to Central, githeri na viazi na the rest.
Minji.
Yes. When you go to Maasai, it is meat and all that stuff. So it's very important for you to look at this individual as what do they believe culturally? What do they want to understand? Where is their physical health? Where is their mental health? And when you put all this together, then now you're able to come up with being healthy for this individual.
For this individual. Okay. Do you want to tie that as well as we finish? Because I can see your time is far much spent. We need to end now. Okay. 30 seconds. Mental health and fitness. Because again, like Daktari said, it's wholesome. Right? From mental to spiritual to physical, all this aspect. So do you want to very quickly speak on mental health and fitness?
So just like the word health and fitness, you cannot say fitness is independent. It's dependent on your health. So if your body is not healthy, then it means it's going to compromise your fitness. Because literally if you're in a space where you're exercising or you're in need of physical performance, but your body is struggling with something, either there's an infection, a bacteria, you'll notice your energy levels will go down because it means literally the brain is not 100% present. it's also focusing on fighting the disease. The energy is being channeled towards building white blood cells and stuff like that. So then it means then your fitness level is going to go down. And in that quest of your body trying to recover, you'll also find yourself losing muscle mass. Your metabolic rate will go down. And if you're not careful and you don't to readjust that, you'll get even more ill.
Okay.
So that's why it's important to make sure that you're eating healthy.
All right.
And when it comes to things like hydrating, making sure you're sleeping well, because just like he said, stress is part of life.
Part of life,
so you need to know how to deload the stress or manage it.
Manage your stress.
Yes.
Okay, allow us to end the conversation here, or let's say put a pause.
Yes.
And then we'll continue in one of the shows as well, because time is not on our side. But so much, I've learned so much this morning that is making me think about several things. Okay, but for now, thank you so much, Kevin Mwangi Juguna, fitness consultant from Rolling Total Fitness, as well as Dr. Daniel Katambo, who's the founder and CEO of Afya Code Limited. Thank you so much for your time as well this morning, and thank you for staying with us as well until the end of the show. Now I know, just like me, you have learned so much, and think about it as far as body composition is concerned, but do not forget the nutrition aspect of the same. So I'll see you tomorrow morning, same time, same place, right here on Your World. But until then, stay safe and God bless. Goodbye.